Okay, we're going to begin the meditation. Choose a comfortable posture. And make yourself as comfortable as you can. We begin the meditation. You just relax your body. Just relax your neck, your shoulder, your arms. Just take a few moments to relax your body. And bring awareness to your body. Where there is any tightness, tension in your body, and you just relax your body. And just being here, aware the feelings, sensations of your body. And just recognize and acknowledge the feelings and sensations of your body. And just relax. So just continue for a little more, few moments. Relax your body, and it's help to calming your body down. Just calming your body. So we begin the meditation by taking 3 deep breaths. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, relax. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, relax. Breathing in, I calm my body. Breathing out, relax. As your mind now becomes relaxed and calm, and you start to observe your breath, your in and out breath. the meditation by counting 3 in and out breath, and you can open your eyes.